The name of the episode is called Lost in Yeah, exactly. It was translated as a candy cat.
Do we need to do something? Do we call the police? What do you mean her parents are kidnapped?
Well, speaking about dicks, what about your boyfriend?
But they're very confident. Already, as I have insecurities
And a random man is calling me horny while dancing. I'm like, I need to die right now. Hello guys, and welcome back to another episode of the
Masala and Salsa Podcast with Andrea
and Priyanjana.
And well, today the episode is a little bit kind of a different kind of, I will say, but I'm gonna just let you know, the name of the episode is called Lost in Yeah, exactly. Lost in Translation. And why the name of the episode is because, as you already guessed and know, English is not our first language, and neither French. So sometimes when we want to explain things to other people, we just get random stuff. We think it's one thing, but then at the end, okay, happens to be a different one.
I mean, there's accents, there's language, there's so many cultural notions attached to it, like gestures we don't get.
Yeah. So we're gonna be talking about some kind of weird stories that have happened to us while we've been here in France and some other places. Yeah. But
just every time we have lost the context in translation and how we've made fool of ourselves.
Well, we're still here, so that's a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I just cry myself to sleep at night, but it's all good. All good.
Because of how embarrassing you were thinking about the meaning of one thing. Yeah. Like that day, remember when we went to Albania?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's where it lost in translation, like the idea came.
Yeah. I mean, that day we went to, I'm going to tell you the story. Like, we went to Albania. It was a fun trip and very cheap. And we were trying to find I don't remember exactly, a place.
We had to go to the printing place.
Yeah, to get the tickets, no?
Yeah,
right, for the flight.
In case you don't know, the cheap European airlines that you travel without baggage require you to print out the papers, and you can't have PDF or digital tickets.
So we didn't think about this since we were in France. So we flew there. And then on the way back, we were like, oh, what the fuck, where are our tickets and this and that? So we were trying to look for a store. We found one. So the lady, very nice. She
spoke English.
Yeah, that was right. She was speaking English with us, but with different accent, And then it was this time where, okay, this is the code, this is this and that, the money, and blah, blah. So at the end, we say okay, goodbye. She replies to us and she says okay, in my understanding. She said have a nice life. So I reply back to her saying okay, you too, thank you, you too, very nicely, And
I was so confused that why is this lady saying have you too? And I just responded to you she's not flying anywhere. She's there.
Turns out she was saying have a nice flight, not nice life. And I was okay, still, you have a nice life.
That super thing when somebody says happy birthday and you for some reason say same to you. So oh, you too. I'm she's not flying anywhere.
Yeah. That story was funny. She even was laughing.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, but that reminds me, there was one more time. I mean, since we are here and languages is a tricky thing. So there was this one time my roommate, he knocks my door and he's French and he is responding with, I have multiple roommates and you will listen to a lot of those stories because they keep coming and going. So one of my roommate who was French, he knocked on my door and was 10 a.m., 11 a.m. in the morning on a Sunday. And he speaks English because he knows I don't speak French. And he comes and he's oh, Priyanjana, darling, do you have a scotch? And in my head, I'm okay, scotch. 10 in the morning. And you know what I reply with? We have red wine in the fridge. And he looks at me what weird? I'm what the fuck do you want? And I was but darling, don't you think 10 a.m. is too early? And he is so confused. because in French, scotch means a tape.
It's the brand of the tape, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, but they call it like scotch tape.
Okay.
And we in English use tape. And in my head, scotch is a whiskey. I'm like, oh, I don't have whiskey. And I'm like, oh, what he thinks I have scotch? Like, do I keep whiskey in my
Like
room?
a drunk person.
And I'm like, why? And in my head, I'm like, okay, you tell me everything what happened. Like, why do you need a whiskey at 10 a.m.? And I have red wine.
That was funny. I
So-
can imagine like the scene happening, like your face so confused, and he's like, "What the fuck, this lady?"
And I'm thinking, like, what has happened that he needs to be drunk at 10 a.m.?
Yeah, the God, those kind of stories.
But not knowing the language and knowing the language kind of has saved us also, I think, in between, because this girl speaks English, Spanish, and German.
A bit.
Yeah.
I remember that day in a festival, the food festival street,
Oh my god, yes.
right? I think
I think this happens when you are in an international group where there are people who speak like multiple languages.
Yeah, and I feel like this is I don't know if maybe it's a weird thing or not, or maybe just specific for Latinos, that because actually some other people has told me this, like when we are in a group with Spanish people, but then there is people that doesn't speak English, even if it's only one, we try to always switch to English so we get people involved. It's not like on the other side, like I see, and I've seen myself in a French group of people where they don't speak a bit of English, because even if they know that you are there and your French is not that great, they don't switch.
Yeah, I think it's the same for us. Like, when we're Indians, we're together, we speak in English, so other people feel involved.
Yeah.
But also because in India, we have too many languages,
that's
so
true. That's true.
So English is easier. But yeah, French people,
I mean, I have noticed that in French people, but apart from that, I don't know if Italians might behave the same way, or
Yeah, I mean, we have great people. I mean, like people in where I work, they always switch to English and stuff like that. But a lot of times that's not the case.
Yeah. So it just came with a different story now. Like when we went to this festival, right? So we were all together, and I think I was already drinking a lot by then.
Yeah.
And so these people just came in. We have this other Colombian friend, very good friend of us. He was speaking about like some story, and he mentioned that the parents of this other girl were, in Spanish he mentioned they were discapacitados, which means handicapped. But when he was saying the story in English for the people that was not the Spanish speaker, he was translated as a candy cat. And here you go, a right example of
lost in translation.
Kidnapped.
And he's telling the story, okay? Like he's like, oh no, that girl's parents, like they're kidnapped. And I am going all like, do we need to do something? Do we call the police? What do you mean her parents are kidnapped?
Kidnapped, no candy.
He meant handicapped, like her parents are handicapped and not kidnapped. And the thing is, I think I was the only non-Spanish speaker there. I am so lost and so confused. And I am getting like, I'm getting sweaty, like they're and I asked like, are they still kidnapped? And he's like, yeah, this is what? And I'm like, what? Yeah.
And then I saw Priyanjana's face, like very like, what the fuck? What are we doing here? It's like he's meaning this. It's like, oh god. But like many of these kind of stories have happened.
Yeah. And like how you're talking that people, when you don't speak the same language, they try to incorporate. And there have been cases in the past, like, we are in France and we ask for direction. And when we don't get, they do like this mind map, like, like with their hands, like, oh, go here, because they don't know how to say left or right or straight or next block for that matter. And they just do like this mind map, like, go here and there. But also, I think they try, like my landlord or one of my roommates, he did not speak English at all, and my French wasn't that great when I had just come. So we would just talk in gestures. So there was this one time I was in Belgium, and this is my story from my Erasmus. I'm like 19 and I had just gone to the party, and this is like the first party I'm going to.
Ever?
Like, as in
Europe.
Belgium.
Okay.
Yeah, in Europe. And this, there are not many. This is the first time I'm going to a party. I don't know anyone there. It's like a get together kind of party.
Mhm.
And I'm a 19-year-old who comes from India, so European culture is like a little different and shocking.
Yeah.
I go to the party, and in India you can't drink until 21, but it was a student bar and everybody was drinking because Europeans start drinking at 16. That's their legal age. So this guy looks at me and he does like points to his drink and does like this, and I am like, what the fuck?
Like this.
Yeah, like what you want? Like what?
Okay.
I was so weirded out. I just like switched on and left. Like I don't even want to acknowledge what he said.
Uh-huh.
And then his friend comes to me and he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. My friend doesn't speak English, and he just wanted to ask you if he can buy you a drink."
I would have said yes. Hell yeah. Buy me all of them. If you would have understood, of course.
No, I was 19. I still didn't drink back then.
Bad. Very bad.
I'm not old enough to drink in my country. I'm not drinking.
That's smart.
But you also have something similar when you went to another country in Brazil.
Yeah, that story. Oh my god, that was very embarrassing to say because I didn't know when I went to Brazil. I didn't know any Portuguese, but when you're there for a long time, it wasn't for that long, but still you got few words. So I wanted to. I remember I was waking up and I wanted to have like for breakfast or some kind of snack. These kind of things that you call the pão de queijo, which is like a cheese bread. And
sounds delicious.
It is delicious. So I was like, yeah, I can ask for it. I can go by myself to the store and this and that. So I went to the store, and I very confident of myself and what I'm about to say. It's like bom dia. I want a pain au chocolat. Pain au chocolat.
The French have gotten into you.
Pain de
Je
queijo.
voudrais un pain au chocolat, s'il vous plaît. Par carte.
Pain de queijo. Kind of with that accent. But, pain, it depends on the way that you pronounce the word. It also means dick. I don't know if I can say this, but tip with the D. And
starts with a D, ends with a K.
So I went very confident, and I asked the person, like, can I have a pain de queijo? And he started looking at me like, what the fuck? This is not the store for that.
But did he give it to you?
After asking again, like, what you want? And that's like one of those, like, pang, like, okay, yes, and this and that. And I was like, oh. And then I came out and I said to the friends that were outside, like, why the person was looking at me like that? So I explained the whole story, and they were laughing their asses off, like saying, like, yeah, you were asking for a thing that was not at bread. I was like, okay, good to know.
Well, speaking about dicks, what about your boyfriend?
What?
Your boyfriend is French, and he might make those mistakes.
But yeah, but no, those kind of. Yeah, that's very funny. But I think it's more French speakers, like like in the French language, they don't pronounce the H, right?
Yep.
If I'm not wrong.
Yeah, they don't have H.
So so every time that we're asking about like if we have eaten or not or this and that, every time I say like, have you eaten? And then he's like, yes, I hate. I'm like, what the fuck? What do you hate? Are you hating something? Are you hate eating? He's like, no, I hate. I was like, what? What are you talking about? Like, who are you hating? I hate. You ate. When you ate, okay, you don't need to pronounce the H whenever you. It's like.
And it's so funny to watch like people struggle, like they're like soul is coming out of them.
But they're very confident. Like this is how you say it, so I'm saying like that.
Okay, in my opinion, like whenever there's a situation like this, I ask like them to say something that starts with an H. So they'll be like, like tightening their stomach, hate, like with all their energy, like hate.
Yeah, it's my life now. Like trying to understand whenever they
Yeah.
have to say H or not. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, this is what they are really meaning.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. So, well,
But even like in the English language, it's pretty different, right? Because I remember there was one time I asked you to pass me something.
oh yeah. I think this is very Spanish thing or Mexican thing. I don't remember, but like pass.
Yeah.
Should I pass this or should I give it to you?
You pass me, which is kept there. So can you pass it to me? So I asked this girl to pass me a bottle of water.
What?
You know what she does? She literally passes the bottle in front of my face and takes it back. I was like, what on earth are you doing? I need it.
Okay, then you have to say, give me that, please.
Donnez-moi, s'il vous plaît. As you can see, we have improved our French from last episode.
Exactly. Exactly.
But what else does your French boyfriend does, which is hilarious?
Ah, yes. I remember this one. We were in a 3 weeks long distance kind of thing when I went to Mexico, and between texting, video calling, and stuff like that. Every day is well, not almost every day, but I remember once he said "Oh yes, and how your parents going?" And I
Where?
was, yeah, exactly.
Going
My
where?
question. I was like, going where? Like, what you mean? My parents going, what? And then for me to understand what he was meaning, he said that in French. And I said, how your parents doing?
Oh yeah, it makes sense because
Comme tes parents, comme tes parents
ça
vont,
roule.
or something like that.
Yeah, because when you ask in French ça roule, which means how is it doing?
No, but yeah, I get that. But the point of him, the translation itself was,
yeah.
comment tes parents vont? Is how they doing.
Okay.
But if he was translated literally,
Yeah.
would say going instead of doing, So
another thing lost in translation. But I mean, your boyfriend has made a lot of mistakes.
But he's cute.
Questionable again. Because there was this one time I am walking with both of them, and somebody passed by an extremely good-looking person, and I am looking at that good-looking person, and Andrea is also looking at that good-looking person. So he comes and says, "You still have your beard on." And I'm like, that is not a very nice thing to say to a lady. Like, what the fuck?
She saved that. She shaved that day.
I'm like, I am shaved. And also, what the fuck? Like, why would you tell me, my beard is still on? Like, I'm already, as I have insecurities and I have facial hair, and you just come and tell me that, oh, I have beard on? Like, what the fuck? Well, he meant to say I had drool on. Drool, when I saw the...
La baba.
Yeah. Because it's called la baba. Yeah.
No, God.
Okay.
This kind of
I was so once I'm looking a good looking person, and then suddenly I am in that situation that I have in my head, oh, that good looking person saw me with a beard. I have no chance. My self confidence has stonks.
But you know what is funny? Every time that you get kind of attacked,
Yeah.
you also I don't know, you get out of that hole that is digging you down. But yeah, I know how to respond and stuff like that. It's
What do you mean?
Yeah, you know how to respond to those kind of things, And it's
I think another thing you learn
other
when
people probably will say what the fuck, leave me alone,
I think maybe it's a thing that you learn when you move abroad.
Yeah.
That you have no other option but to take jokes.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, and speaking of still my boyfriend and going out and stuff. Remember that day we went to this place for a drink with
we go to a lot of places for drinking.
For another festival, fiesta festival.
Correct.
What
Oh yeah,
happened that day,
oh my.
No, that was hilarious.
Yeah.
Because my friend here, she thought she understood what the question was. She was very confident by replying, "Oui."
Wait. As we mentioned in the previous episode, oui is the word that I use the most in French. These couple of guys have like just come and they've entered, and it's a festival, so the places are crowded, so there are no seats available. And these people come and they're like, would you they ask me
Are
in
you
French,
using,
are you using these seats? And I am like all stressed that, oh my god, I need to respond in French. And I wanted to say like, yeah, take these seats, like it's okay, like you can take them, these are not occupied. And I just respond, oui, period.
everyone else was looking at you like,
What?
what?
I just said oui, and like I don't continue the sentence like oui, like you take it, like it's. I just said oui, which means okay, and everyone is like, what the fuck? But luckily, her boyfriend was there who speaks French, and he's like, no, you can take these seats, like we don't need them. Like I'm just, and the confidence that I had, like yeah, oui.
Oui. And then I was like, the seats are free, oui. Oh, yeah.
But
Then-
do you also remember, like, I mean, because again, French is not that great of a language, but there's a friend of ours whose girlfriend was Canadian.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and he,
Is it like in Spanish? She tried
Yeah.
to communicate, no, in Spanish,
yeah,
I think.
yeah,
And, like, embarrassed. Yes, embarrassed is one meaning in English, but embarazada, it's another meaning in Spanish. Which I think this time they were in a family dinner kind of thing.
yeah, and like like that Mexican friend's family offered that girl wine.
A drink. Yeah.
And she's like, oh, she wanted to say, I'm so embarrassed, I don't want to drink it. But she responded she said in Spanish that I am
Embarazada, and the parents and himself were like, "What the fuck are you talking about? What? How?"
But do you want to tell our viewers, our listeners, what does embarazada mean in Spanish?
Pregnant. Pregnant, to be
Yeah.
pregnant.
So she just told our friend's family that, oh, she cannot drink because she's pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah, they both were dating. They were, I don't know, 17.
I think they broke up after that. Like, that baby is not mine.
Like, am I the father? Do I know?
Yeah, lost on translation many times. You see, it's fun.
Speaking about babies,
How
how to avoid them?
you want to how to avoid them?
Yeah,
What happened that day? We were collecting some free food, right?
Yeah,
Here in France.
yeah.
Because if you don't know, France has a lot of
Associations.
NGOs,
Yeah.
and just associations that they want to give help the communities. And
Yeah. So there was this place where you go there and they were offering you free stuff, and it was like a free health stuff, like those kind of things. And that lady asked me that, vous avez preservatives? And anyone who understands a bit, in my head, preservate, it translates to preservatives. And I thought preservatives probably means like, something like, you add preservatives to your food. So I just thought she's giving me like a thing to preserve, maybe like a soup with chemical, like, I don't know, frozen food kind of
your
thing.
mind works very weirdly, huh?
Yeah, because my mind was like preservatives, like something to preserve. Maybe like I could put this on my food and it's going to, I don't know, innovation. We are in France.
Mhm.
And she gives me this box and I take it and I keep it in my bag. I walk past and she is waiting for me on the other side, laughing her ass off.
Because what did you get?
I got condoms. Because in French, preservatives are condoms.
Yeah, that's a very funny one, because it has happened to most of us, I think, like English speakers, and you
Yeah.
know.
There's actually like a phrase in what they call is faux amis. Like they call it false friends in French.
Okay.
Because there's so many words which mean something similar in English,
Mhm.
but it's completely opposite in
And in the
Yeah.
actual meaning.
actual
yes.
meaning. So like preservatives, preservative.
Like this other word that I used to use, but then I realized what it meant. What
Yeah.
it meant, and in French is like how you say like je chaud.
Oh, je chaud. Oh,
Oh,
je chaud means
je chaud.
it's like chaud means hot, but yeah,
But like
what does it
it's
mean?
like I'm hot. No,
I am.
right?
I am what? I am not. What?
No.
am I?
But I'm hot, so it's the same meaning as in English, no? Je chaud.
No, it means
I'm
you're
hot.
horny.
I'm horny. Mm.
Yeah, like also like there was this time then I said like, oh, je suis like I wanted to say excited, like I'm excited to meet you to my
But
landlord.
also, you want to say in French is
Je suis impatient, like you're impatient to meet. So yeah, my landlord, like before coming here, I texted like my landlord like, oh, I'm coming at like 1300 hours and whatever, that I will see you, and I am je suis excité. Like I'm excited to see you. And I think he just responded with a thumbs up. And then later got to know that if you say I'm excited, it means like not excited as in like, oh, it means that you're very horny to see them.
nice. Yes, but you have this other story, of the Yesho.
Yeah, it's not like just show, but it's more about horny. I think it's
Okay.
the reverse of it.
Okay.
So there is a friend of mine who is gay, and he and I, we were like sitting together, and there's another work colleague, not exactly work colleague, but we work in the same co-working space, and he just said, oh, you guys look like a couple, which was funny because he's gay and like it doesn't make sense. So as a joke he just responded that you both, like, he just like, oh yeah, we will make such a horny couple, and end of situation. It was a joke, we all took it as a joke,
A
and
horny couple, huh? Okay.
he just said it as a joke and it was over. Later that night, my work colleague, who does not speak English at all, is drunk and he's like dancing at the DJ. It was an office party, and he goes like, "You are a horny girl," and I'm like, "What?" And he said that, and they're like people who are like in the same working space, and it's an office party, and a random man is calling me horny while dancing. I'm like, like I need to die right now, like. And I was like,
Dang.
I was like, what the fuck? And I become like really angry, like, what the fuck do you mean? Like, how can you say these things? Like, do you not have, like, no, what does, like, doesn't horny mean cute? I'm like, no. And like, what does it mean? I'm like, I am not even going to tell you what it means. Like, what is wrong with you? You just embarrassed me in front of my, like, I mean, my boss wasn't there, but there were people who I have to, like, go and speak to at work.
Dang. Wow.
Yeah, and in his defense, he thought that my gay friend and I could make a cute couple. So he thought, like, later, once after the party, I went to him, like, why did you call me horny? Like, because, like, are there things out there that I don't know? Like, why are people, like, why is a random guy calling me horny?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he told me because he thought that we're a horny couple means we're a cute couple.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I'm
so
very lost in translation, that guy.
yeah, so things can get lost in translation, and sometimes it's better to Google, what things
What
are.
exactly you want to say and stuff, because otherwise
Yeah,
you
or
can...
maybe like I don't know, ChatGPT, because Google Translate also kind of.
Yeah, I think it's not that great these days, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Maybe,
I mean,
yeah, it's just
you just learn the language and that's it.
yeah, but that's going to take you like 5 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, and every time you go to another place, it's a different thing. So just beware of all these words, and do not just, like my friend, just think that automatically in context that it could have meant horny means cute, because yeah, things can be taken out of context. And don't tell your landlord that you're excited to meet them.
At least not in French.
Not in French. Yeah. Or ever, to be honest. You can just say, yeah, we'd love to meet you or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't say excited.
Don't get too
Excited about it.
Alrighty.
Yeah, and if you have any of those stories which have landed you in trouble,
We would love to hear them or read them.
Read them.
Or just leave a comment there.
Yeah.
Thumbs up if you like or not. Some
Yeah.
suggestions. This is
Yeah.
the second episode. We're starting this, and we would love to give you more and more and more about French life, French
Yeah.
experiences, but also like international stuff.
Yeah, so let us know what more you want to hear from us
Yeah.
and what new things we should be talking about, our stories, our shared experiences, and some topics that you would find relatable. So drop down in the comments so we know.
Thank you, guys.
À la prochaine!
See you next. Bye.
Bye!